Hi, Jewish Mom. I'm wishing you Shabbat Shalom this week from my kitchen. This morning, I was walking to an appointment with my 16-year-old daughter, Moria, and I noticed something interesting, that along the way, she was picking up trash. First I saw a disposable cup that was on the ground and various other pieces of trash along the way. And the reason why this is remarkable, it's remarkable. It's remarkable for a 16-year-old girl to be aware, to have like awareness about that, and like not only to have awareness, but like want to pick it up herself. But that my mom of blessed memory, this is what she was like in our family. She was famous for this. It would always take like twice as long to get anywhere if we were walking with my mom. Not only because she walked very, very slowly, towards the end of her life especially, but also she would stop constantly to pick up trash. She So this was like her thing. She didn't like the trash, but she was going to do something about it. She walked around picking up the trash. So I said to Moria, I said, "Wow, you're just like Savta," and she smiled because it was clear that it was clear where this was coming from. And I was reminded of something amazing that I heard. I learned this during the interview a few weeks ago with Ilana Mizrahi. She was mentioning that on a biological level. So when baby girls are in utero, then we already have within us all of the eggs that we're going to produce over a lifetime. Like that's all the eggs. Okay. So basically, for example, when my grandmother, when she was pregnant with my mother had within her, as a fetus, within her mother, she had all of her eggs, and that means that was me. I was there. At least that a certain part of me, the egg that I was created from, was inside my grandmother, and that was really powerful for me to hear because I never met my grandmother. The grandmother, my name is Hannah. I never met my grandmother because my grandparents and my grandmother also, they were killed in my grandparents, my mother's parents and her grandmother were all killed in a car crash before I was born. So I never merited to meet them. And she's and so like this woman, Anne or Hannah, she's a complete mystery to me. There's no pictures. Maybe it's a generational thing. There's no, aside from her wedding photo that I have in my bedroom. There's no pictures of her. And then just this knowing, like, oh, like I never met her, but I was inside of her. I was inside of my grandmother, the one I was named after. So I thought of that with Moria. Like with Moria, I think it's like also like it's like it's nature and nurture. Okay, so like there is like the nurture aspect. Okay, like Moria grew up seeing her savta picking up trash. And that this was a real value for her, and I guess Moria has adopted this value as well. But I think it's also nature. Like it's somewhere. It's wild. It's like inside of her. Like okay, just to do it again because I found this very confusing initially. When my mother was pregnant with me, when I was a fetus inside of my mother, I had within me already all the eggs. I already had within me the egg from which Moria was created. Okay, so basically, my mom actually carried Moria within her. Okay, this makes me also think about I remember like right at the end of the ceremony, my mom's unveiling ceremony, last month. So the last thing that you do is the mourners are supposed to put a stone on the grave. And we all know this tradition. You go to a cemetery, and this is like the Jewish way of doing things. Instead of flowers, we put a stone on top of the grave. And I heard from Rabbi Imima, I don't remember what the source is, that the word in Hebrew for stone is Evan, which she said stands for Abba ben Neched, father I'm sorry, father, son, grandson. Or it could also stand, Evan also stands for Ima bat nechda, which is mother, daughter, granddaughter. And she was saying the reason that we do this, it's a comfort. We're doing it as a comfort for the person who's died. Saying, okay, you're not here now, but there's you have eternity. You have this Evan. You have, the mother, daughter, granddaughter, right? You have descendants. So Bezrat Hashem, people should have descendants. People who don't, I'm not sure how to interpret it, but I think for those of us who do, it's such a privilege to know, it's a link to eternity, and it's wild on a nurture level and on a nature level. This is a really my grandchildren. I hope that I'll merit to live to meet all of my grandchildren. But they're in a way, I carried them inside of me. Isn't that wild? And on a nurture level, I hope that they will inherit my values and maybe, and I hope also improve upon them, and surpass me in many ways. But so I just want to say that to Jewish moms, just knowing that our kids, it's like a link with eternity. It's not always easy. It's often not easy being a mom, being a Jewish mom. But so, this is our link to eternity. This is our Evan, right? This is our Ima bat nechda. Okay, I want to bless you on that note with a Shabbat Shalom. Kol Tov.